a world of fun and fantasy, and ever-changing views, and computer terminology. Commodore's news. Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you. Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you.
Hi, I'm Graham. Welcome back to the Commodore Cave. We're now approaching 40 videos dedicated specifically to Commodore machines. And if you can't see them all, just make sure you click on the video tab below and they will all pop up. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Amiga 1000. If you watched my last video, I mentioned that I was going to look at the 1060 sidecar, but I thought about it and I believe it's probably more appropriate to have looked at the Amiga 1000 first to set the scene, and I'll be doing the sidecar next video. Personally, I believe they're two groundbreaking computers in the 1980s that lifted the standard to the next generation, the Commodore 64 and the Amiga 1000. The Amiga was released at the Computer Show in 1985 to great fanfare. The world had seen nothing like this before.
Introducing Amiga, the first personal computer that gives you a creative edge. The computer with better color graphics, more speed and power than any other at its price. The only computer that lets you work on up to 4 things at once and makes every one of them more creative. If you want a better chance of winning the games you play today, you need Amiga, the first personal computer to give you a creative edge.
A fun fact about this machine was that in 1984, when R.J. Mickle and Dale Luck were conveying this computer for its initial release at the Computer Show, they had to actually purchase a separate seat to take the computer on. Now, the airline refused to issue a ticket unless they had a name for it, so they came up with the name Joe Pillow. The nicely positioned floppy disk drive right at the front here, and a couple of LEDs to show you what's going on. We have our joystick and mouse ports, the expansion port. On the back we have our keyboard input, our parallel port for printers. This is the external disk drive port. We've got a port here for the modem, left and right sound. This is the RGB, TV mod and video out. And the back here is our fan. On the other side, we simply have our on-off switch. And underneath, space for the keyboard and our model badge. I'll remove the lid. I'll flip it over and we can see all the signatures beneath it on the case. There's J Minor, and there's his dog, and not to forget, Joe Pillow down the bottom here. It came standard with 256K of chip memory, but they were usually upgraded to the 512K with the memory expansion, and past that you could always add fast memory. It had the OCS chipset with a 12 colour palette and capable of 4096 colours. The video was analog RGB or composite RCA. One of the nice features of this machine was the keyboard, which went into its handy little garage there. Everybody liked that, me included. And this is the back of it. It has the little legs if you want to raise it up. And it has its very own label as well. This was a true multitasking computer system. I had this upgraded with a 4 megabyte RAM expansion that was created by Guru. Worked very well, and it also enabled me to connect a hard disk drive to it, which worked flawlessly. Unfortunately, this card was incompatible with the sidecar, so it had to be replaced. On its release, part of the operating system had yet to be included within the computer. On startup, it asked for the kickstart disk, followed by the workbench disk. The disks are double density 880K. We have a handy little read LED over here. 256K was really not enough to run this machine, so Commodore released the 256K RAM expansion pretty much as a standard addition to all computers. That brought it up to the massive 512K, half a meg of memory. Comes up with our workbench, the famous blue on white. We have our disk icons here. It allows us to multitask, so we'll start up the clock. Sitting over there. In demos, sitting there multitasking away. And up here we have our drop-down menus: open, duplicate, rename, info, discard. Disk has empty, trash and initialize, and special has clean up, bust, error, redraw, snapshot and version. We'll open Notepad. And all this is operating within that 512K of memory. It's introduced icons and windows so that we can multitask and move them around. Of course, it wouldn't be a genuine Amiga 1000 if we didn't at least get one of these, a Guru meditation error. This means time to reboot. Then something happened that was unscripted and genuinely left me gobsmacked. Wonder what that was. What wonderful things just happened. Amiga's alive. This is a virus. This is amazing. I found a disk with a virus on it. Wow, this is going right back to the very first viruses. That's it. That's all it did. Go Amiga. After nearly 4 decades, you still have some surprises. And it ran pretty much most Amiga software. Of course, with floppies you'd regularly get this as well, but you could click on retry and it would actually have an honest go at reading the disk. In this case it works. The great music was one of the major selling points on this machine. When you compare this to what the competition were doing at the same stage, it's miles ahead. It was a lot more than a simple games machine. It offered a lot of productivity as well. This is deluxe video. We're still talking 1986. This type of computer presentation was unheard of in the day, and they took advantage to really stick it to the competition. Not to be outdone, they included music. Catch the excitement before it disappears. Well, it still hasn't disappeared. Well, that's it for me today from the Commodore Cave. I hope you found this video interesting. If you did, leave me a thumbs up, or better still, leave a comment, or better still, subscribe. Until next time from the Commodore Cave, see ya. Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you.